Hi everyone, welcome. This is the first actual episode of the Omaha Club Flush show that we're going to try to get you introduced to all of the lower level teams and a little bit of Union Omaha that are playing now in the Omaha area. And we're going to start this one off with a really good look here. We've got Harry Wray, Jordan Bartles. They are the men in charge there at Linoma FC, who will be starting their Midwest Premier League sessions and then their dynasty. We can only hope here in the coming months. Harry, Jordan, thank you for joining me. How's things?
Good. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
So let's start off with the first. Who exactly are you guys, and why Linoma?
Go ahead, Harry.
You know, it's been around forever. I mean, you look at any sort of information or any local league, you'll see the name Linoma in whatever capacity. For me, I was a player at Linoma. I play for Linoma in the Open Division, and Jordan plays for the over 30s, and he helps out with the Open Division. And it just felt like when speaking to the guys who kind of designed it, that it was about ready for the next step and to take that brand and take that name and go further. I mean, as an organization, they've traveled the country playing, so it's only right that I think we honor that and we bring in
Mhm.
the younger boys to kind of take that to the next step.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me it was very much of a family culture, and it feels like you're at home.
Yeah.
Everybody's out there to take care of each other. I think that's the biggest thing for us is why Linoma FC is because of that family atmosphere.
Yeah, and started in 1986 with a bunch of roommates, living in Omaha, working in Lincoln, and all of that. And if you go back through the history, you can definitely see that intimacy and that family atmosphere. That it was a bunch of guys that really liked each other, really liked hanging out with each other. So that's why the Linoma name, and it seems to check with where you guys are trying to take Linoma now. When did you guys first get involved though with Linoma?
Yeah, I got involved, I want to say 2015.
Mhm.
One of the founding members was running the open division, and I jumped in. I was still young and could run and do all the things. Now I can't,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, we just jumped in at 2015 and started playing for Frank,
Mhm.
and the rest is history.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was kind of different. Back in 2018, I was playing college at Bellevue University, and it was kind of I was a goalkeeper in college, so during the season we were going undefeated. I had been injured in the spring, so I wasn't
Mhm.
really. I was looking at redshirting for that year,
Mhm.
and that was just a way for me to kind of get minutes under my belt, get a bit of fitness back, get used to playing against adults again. Um, and I think Jordan needed help a couple of games. Remember, we ended up at Zarinsky Park playing, which
Mhm.
Yeah.
wasn't the best, but it was an experience. And then just as time went on, a lot of the Bellevue lads started to join and join in. And I mean, I was involved with Bug Eaters, who had a few players who then drifted on
hmm
to the Open Division as well. So, like John said, it kind of became like a little family, like being with players you've played against or played with. It just makes it really comfortable. And as much as we are competitive and still are competitive, you get to basically hang out with your friends every Thursday and enjoy that time together. As much as winning and losing matter, it's also a
hmm
time to hang out.
So it's got a little Sunday league vibe there, almost. A little bit more professional, but definitely with that. Hey, we'll see you on the pitch, and then we'll go have a pint later and
Yeah,
check out what we can and hang out.
yeah. And the nice thing is with that league is you can meet pretty much anywhere from current college players to UNO, former UNO, Creighton players, and then a
hmm
bunch of NAA players from the area.
Mhm.
And then it's just it's almost like you were still back in college and you were still competing against these teams and trying to prove that you're the best in the area type thing. And that's kind of what makes it enjoyable, is knowing that, hey, you played for UNO back then, we played for Bellevue. There's no real difference. Like,
Mhm.
we'll watch this type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of it too. You mentioned the Sunday League vibe, but like we do a ton of recruiting outside of just Thursday nights, right? I mean,
Mhm.
it is about getting a team that's competitive
Mhm.
and can win games.
Yeah.
Um, not to say that we don't care about other things, but like we do want to win.
Mhm. Yeah. And I mean, you play to win the game, right? As I remember an old coach saying a long time ago, and very angrily and very several times. But it's that chemistry that gets you through and makes
Mhm.
those wins that much more special. And we see that a lot in especially in the English game, especially in the some of the lower leagues, German football. Just what it means to them on. And I can still hear the roar, the annoying crowd in my ear on the goodbye to Goodison goal this last weekend. That you know, but that's kind of the way that I can sense from you guys is that it's about winning, but winning means nothing if you're not together as you win.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, it's all about being together. I mean, even like we go back to our crest. I mean, it's UCIV,
Yep,
UB Concordia, EB Victoria. Where there's unity, there's victory.
yep.
We want to be doing this together, 100%.
Yeah, and we'll be bringing up the crest here because it has changed.
It has.
I got to see something from the original history, and we're no more beer steins on this one, but you can definitely tell the roots in that. We're there to be united. We're there to win together. We're there to lose together. We're just there to be together at the end of all of it. So we'll see. Like I said, the crest design. Which one of you guys came up with that, or did you guys have other input?
That was a joint effort, I think.
Yeah.
We got a couple of people to kind of give us a mock up, but
Mhm.
our whole thing was, what can we take from previous logos and then make sure that we don't forget where it's came from.
Mhm.
So everything on there has some sort of homage to the previous logos, and
Mhm.
then maybe a couple of things that have generated over time.
Mhm.
Hmm.
But that was that was probably a 4 month, 5 month process of just, where
Yeah.
can we take this and make it pop and make it not just
Mhm.
not just pop, but simple as well. I think there's sometimes where logos can be too much, whereas I
Yeah.
think ours is very much, what you see is what you get. There's no reading between the lines of anything. It's right there in front of you, and it's very simple
Yeah.
but clean as well.
Yeah. So with that, then I guess I will go ahead and pull up the logo, and we can talk about a little bit of this. And so this is the new logo as of this year, if I'm tracking correctly, right?
That's
Uh,
correct.
so so we've got the circle badge, very classic, but then we've got kind of the shield badge there in the middle. You can see the where there's unity, there's victory initials down at the bottom. But yeah, just kind of other than that, go through some of the symbolism, some of the color choices. How does that relate to you as the club that you want to be known as?
Yeah, so I guess I'll start this off, Harry. The black and white, super classic, right? But this allows us to go any direction we want to as far as kit color, um, any sort of like basic like
It was Newcastle, really. That's all.
Yeah,
That's all it was.
yeah,
that's that's, that's
I
what
mean
I was
that's real I mean that's really what it is. I
expecting.
mean it's very dynamic. You can change it and do
Mhm.
whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah.
Historically, yes, we have been red as a
Mhm.
men's team, but we wanted to be able to change and pivot when we needed to for kits and for really anything else.
And I think can stand out on multiple kits as well.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, we've been going over jersey designs for the past few months, and it's like pretty much everything we put the logo on, no matter the color, that's kind of the first thing you kind of notice.
Yeah.
And that was kind of half of the deal. Is it stands out, and people can wear it whether they're at a soccer game or going down the street. Like it's got a story and it's got a unique sense to it. Where we wanted to make sure that any person, like I've seen so many jerseys from Union Omaha around that are just simple shirts that say Omaha. Like creating a brand where it's not just about soccer. It's about going further than that and kind of going back to the history and taking it through.
Yeah. And yeah, that is one thing. Black, they say black goes with everything, white goes with everything. And so in kind of a yin yang kind of way, you've got that covered. And then I can see a skull and crossbones there, and a lighthouse, and a not a volleyball.
Not a volleyball, correct.
Yeah, we get that all the time for the Union Omaha side. Is that a volleyball? I'm like, no. So what's with the internal symbolism?
Yeah, so the skull and crossbones, it's a bit of a stretch, but it really goes back to the beer stein. Like, pick your poison, right? And when you think of pick your poison or poison in general, the skull and crossbones comes to mind. So that kind of like pays a homage to that in the old days, right? So, and then the lighthouse. Yeah, go ahead.
We want to make sure that like it's still stuck with the whole college theme. Like this team was generated by college students realistically.
Yeah.
And as we know, college kids like to enjoy themselves, and that's why the beer stein ended up on the logo. But it was the best way that we could incorporate the beer steins without going over the top and hitting that gray area where people have a problem, or like just making sure that again it's something that no one's upset by, no one's offended by, and we still pay the respect of the previous logos.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Fair enough. And then, you were about to mention the lighthouse. I'm assuming that's the Linoma lighthouse that's out, in the middle of a landlocked state. Cool.
Yeah. Exactly. So I want to say 3 years ago, we had a Bellevue University player from England. His name's Finley Bloodworth, and he just was like, one day he came up and he was like, "Did you guys know there's a Linoma lighthouse?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's kind of where we got our name." And he goes, "Well, up the lighthouse." And so that kind of became our rallying cry over the years. And so we just really wanted to incorporate that. It's been kind of our thing as players, and as myself as the coach of the Open Division, that's just stuck with us. So we wanted to incorporate that.
Yep. And there's the especially with the CB captains there on the other side. You've got the old joke about this is a massive warship. And, yeah, this is a lighthouse. You're a move, right? So kind of that steadfast standing, providing the light in the community, but always standing is kind of the way I see a lighthouse.
Yeah, and the other thing about that, behind there's 10 lines creating for 11 spaces.
Okay.
Symbolizing the 11 players on the field.
Yep. Yeah, and I don't know if it 100% comes out there, but yeah, I do notice the lines there now, and yeah, it kind of a brilliant way to kind of get the 11 involved, and then obviously the not a volleyball. We play soccer, right? Why the old style soccer ball though?
You want the honest truth?
Why not? Let's.
I don't like the hexagon soccer ball. We've always had the hexagon soccer ball or the pentagon soccer ball on our crests, and I just don't like it, and so I went with the volleyball. I feel like that pays tribute to the history of the game overall.
Do you just kind of a tangent? Do you prefer playing with a ball like that? Do you prefer playing with the modern hex balls? Like,
No, go ahead, Harry. Go ahead, Harry.
I'm too young to notice that ball, so that's a bit of a stretch for me.
well, I mean, they'll go and do anything for aerodynamics these days and try to get
For
try to
sure.
get the bend and curve into it. So yeah, no, a very simple but still very powerful, full of a message, kind of a crest. And I can appreciate that. Anything? I guess the last things I noticed here are the two stars and the two wheat. I'm not sure if those are sheafs of wheat or laurels, whichever one you guys have them on. But is there anything but there, or is that just to kind of pull the design together?
The laurels are really from the Linoma over 30 team, and that's again just something we wanted to incorporate. We wanted to make sure that everybody's included. I mean, the Linoma logo with laurels has been around for like 2 decades, right,
Hmm.
Harry?
Hmm.
Something like
Yeah.
2 decades, and I mean, we just didn't want to get rid of that. It's very symbolic for the team. I mean, them going down to Tulsa and other tournaments in Iowa, Minnesota, South Dakota. It's just very iconic for the Lenoma team.
Yeah.
And the stars are really just from the Open Division,
Mhm.
having their circular badge as well.
So, and as you mentioned, a team that has already found success, obviously entering into a new league this year, but you've already been successful on the pitch. You've already had a little bit of history for this crest to kind of carry forward into the new league. And like I said, I don't think it's a bad crest at all. And despite maybe the Newcastle colors there, uh, which which really do go with anything. Um, what can we expect to see maybe now out of some of your kits? We'll go ahead and get rid of the logo here, but what do we expect to see maybe out of some of the kits? Have you guys gotten a designer yet? Do you know who you're working with?
We're working with Yako out of Ireland. They're a German-based
Yeah.
company, but they have a. I've worked with them with the Irish, uh, I guess, what would you call it?
Department.
Uh, but yeah, their Ireland department,
Hmm.
and I've just built over a relationship with them over the last 8 years, and so yeah, we're gonna go with them. And year one may be a little normal, if you will,
Hmm.
and we'll get a little more abstract as we get into year two.
Hmm.
Um, there's just
There's been
some.
talk. Yeah,
Go
go on.
ahead. No,
there's
Harry, you
been
got
talk,
it.
there's been talks of kind of going back to the older teams and taking inspiration from them and bringing again like a collective that,
Hmm.
hey, this is
Mhm.
almost like a anniversary kit, or like a this is a kit from years ago, like a retro. I think Man City did one a few years ago, and it went over really well. But Yako has gave us the opportunity to do something relatively creative, leading on. So I think, as much as we're thankful for them, I think it'll be a really good partnership where we do take the level of kits to another level, and hopefully that pays respect when everyone sees the custom kits that we end up bringing out. I think we've talked a lot about it, and I mean, Jordan is the mastermind behind the kits. I feel like I receive 3 or 4 every day, but
No. So before we kill the fashion vibe here, just two more questions. What's your preferred goalie color?
Ooh, yeah, Harry, go ahead.
I think I'm a really difficult one for this.
Mhm.
A few years ago, I think when Peter Cech was still at Chelsea, Petr Cech was still at
Yeah.
Chelsea, he used to mention that he would never have a dull colour in goal
Hmm.
because he felt like it would attract shots towards him rather than the rest of it,
Hmm.
and maybe stole it a little bit. But I kind of like the brightish colours. I think it took me a while to try and convince Bellevue to get pink, and by the time I graduated, it just came in.
Yep.
Um,
Well, you go.
Yep.
but I think I want something that stands out and that not many people have. I
Hmm.
think with being lower leagues, there sometimes is the issue that a lot of the times they have blue, red, black,
Hmm.
uh, white, whatever the kits may be. So I think it's one of them that we're not going to have any problems with, as well as making sure that we give the goalkeeper kind of a sense of their own thing. I mean, we've all heard that keepers are crazy, and I can definitely attest to that. So I think some of them have very specific wants and needs that we can try and facilitate as much as possible. You know.
Yeah. This is a keeper appreciation show, so I'm definitely down with that. And then I guess the last, maybe more controversial, colors or no? Do you like the rugby style colors or no?
I guess I'm not really sure what you mean by rugby style colors.
So the colors, the
Collars.
colors.
Oh,
Yeah.
collars, not
Sorry, that's
colors. Gotcha.
the southern coming back out in my voice again. Sorry.
Yeah,
So
no, great question. Okay, so I
We've had this
I'm
discussion
not
so much.
I'm not opposed to it. I actually
mhm,
really like it. I
yeah,
used to not like it at all,
mhm,
but I feel like it's making a comeback.
yeah. One
I
of
think
the
there's a
We
go
may
ahead.
or may not see it on Loma Kit soon.
I think there's a very not specific type of kit that needs it, but I think there's definitely a design or definitely a way of doing the collar that works really well. I think it is also very easy to mess up, but it's something that it's like when it looks good, it looks good, and when it's failed, you know.
Yeah. The
But
uh the one I can think of right now is Portland Hearts of Pine as they start USL League One. They've got a beautiful colored kit with the
yes,
bands, and yeah, so
no
I can
joke.
appreciate that.
That is one of the best kits. I actually just ordered both of them online. They're amazing.
So what I'm hearing though is that for anyone that decides to get Linoma merch and the kits and everything else, they're going to look good, and
Yes.
they're gonna appreciate having that crest on their chest as they're walking downtown.
Yep.
That's the hope, you know.
Always try for it. I mean, yeah.
Mhm.
Um, so with all of that, um, you want people to feel comfortable with the crest. You want them to know that it belongs on their chest, whether they're playing, whether they're supporting everything else. But really, what kind of club do you see yourself as? There are some clubs at this level that are purely development pipelines. There are some clubs that like you said, are hey, we just want to hang out. Where do you guys consider yourself on the spectrum of how would you describe it?
You know, me again. I think for us, when we first got together with the idea and kind of talking through it, the first thing that kind of came to fruition was the family feel. You
Hmm.
know, soccer's becoming a sport, especially in the US, where it's not exactly accessible for everyone. Um, and we wanted to make sure that our community, whether they like soccer or not, has the opportunity to come watch these games. You know, there's been a lot of talk about sports recently, especially with the success of both the US women's and the US men's women, that we want to try and help inspire that next generation of people that maybe don't know what soccer is or maybe don't watch it as much to have that opportunity to come and be inspired and get to know the players, get to know the staff, and truly have that feel of like, hey, I'm working 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. Saturday is my only time to relax. Perfect Linoma are playing. I can go watch them. I can meet people. I can enjoy an entertainment value, and I can also have that connection with a team.
Hmm.
It goes for me. It goes much more above soccer than what we're trying to do. We want to make sure that we're more than just the local team who plays during the summer.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think it's really important that people understand that they have a place to and an opportunity to see soccer if they've never been involved, and if they just enjoy watching, they have the same opportunity.
Yeah. Sorry, Harry. I was just gonna say, like, one of the other things that when Harry and I first met, about this opportunity is we wanted to give back to the community. Like that's our main focus is the community, and that's our number one core value. And we just want to make sure that we give back to the community as much as we possibly can.
Mhm.
And that literally drives, I don't know about Harry. I can't speak for Harry, but it drives me.
Mhm.
Like I want to get back to schools. I want to get back to anybody and everybody that we can that will give us an opportunity to do so. Like literally, this is all volunteer basis.
Mhm. Yep.
So any besides like the funds that we need to travel and have our home games, everything else goes back into the community.
Mhm.
We want to help schools get equipment, whether that's goals, nets,
Mhm.
balls, jerseys, cones, whatever that looks like. We want to get back, and if that's a training session,
Mhm.
we're going to try to do that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I grew up paying £4 a week to play. That's nearly 200 and some pounds a year.
Mhm.
You know, that included jersey, that included games, that was 2 practices a week.
Mhm.
There's not enough of that. And I think there's
Hmm.
so much with soccer here, especially, that some of the United States' raw talent will go missing
Mhm.
because they can't afford to pay for the club fees, or they just can't. It's just not something that they're able to do. I think we're very fortunate that, especially in high school, that the seasons are split with football.
Mhm.
If soccer was in the fall, I don't know if you would have the same turnout.
Yeah.
So we want to really try and get to that point where maybe it's a scholarship. Where we can give a kid
Hmm.
who is showing really good and really wants to play, we can eventually give him the opportunity to play.
Mhm.
Um, and I think it's really important. You've seen it with the NBA, the NFL. You guys are good at creating athletes.
Mhm.
Soccer is one of them where it's very much right now. It's depending on the U.S. men's and women's national teams. How well they do influences them. We want
Mhm.
to create an opportunity where we can maybe take them ones who are basketball's all I've ever grown up with. That's what I know, and be like, hey, come watch a game. Um, you might be inspired to take that to another level.
Mhm. Yeah, and in the grand scheme of athleticism and fitness, soccer is one of those sports that you really, as long as you are getting out there, you're going to get your workout. You're going to get those building blocks you need. And there have been massive studies that talk about multi-sport participants, especially early childhood and into high school, being that much better, not just for moving on to the professional ranks or anything else, but health wise and just enjoyment of life wise. The quality of life tends to be better if you were able to participate in multiple sports while you were developing. And yeah, the pay for play model here is it's been restrictive. You say £4 a week, and the equivalent now, I think we're somewhere around what that'd be about $6 a week, and people would jump at that
Mm-hmm.
instead
Hmm.
of having to pay here's $1,000 just to go to this tournament,
Right.
just for 3 days worth of all of that. So I appreciate that. That's kind of the direction you want to take. That is that soccer is accessible, soccer is for all, and not just from the playing, but from the spectating and the hey, that looks cool. I'd like to do that. And then along those lines, with the community and the affordability, you guys just announced kind of an odd, at least for the United States, kind of an odd manner of ticketing and donation base. So what the 50-50 thing, I think, right? So what's
Yep.
going on with that?
Take it,
You,
Harry.
it was something we talked about. Obviously, being a local team, it's very apparent that you're nothing without the fans. I think it's prevalent with Union Omaha. It's prevalent with any team you see. Um,
Hmm.
But again, going back to that accessibility, we felt it was a huge opportunity to not just help soccer fans and not just bring soccer to the community, but to also help the community as well. You know, the 50-50 model is all we are asking for, if even if it's 1 cent. If you can
Mhm.
donate something,
Mhm.
we're going to have a charity of the game every single week that we're at home during the regular season. And that will get given 50-50, one half to the club, half to the charity of our choice. Now, that doesn't mean you have to give anything. We are just asking
Mhm.
for the kindness of your hearts to support Omaha. You know, a lot of us, especially on our board of directors and staff, would not be nowhere without Omaha as a town. You know,
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to come out here and play and meet my wife and meet my best friends, and so it's really about giving back to a community that has helped a lot of us through a lot of stuff. Um,
Mhm.
now we discussed it a lot um, because it is important. You
Mhm.
know, Omaha goes through so many ups and downs, and it's just really important that we are supporting each and
Mhm.
every person, especially like right now. It's snowy, it's cold.
Yeah.
Food pantries could use the help. Homeless
Right.
shelters could use the help. You know, it really gives us an opportunity to be like, hey, it's not important to us that you come and watch us, but we're trying to help these guys
Right.
as much as we physically can.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that it's a donation model, and that it's of your own heart and everything else. I've always held to the belief you can't legislate charity; it has to come from the heart. And so, giving Omahans the ability to show the heart that they actually have, and the care for their community, I think it's a brilliant thing that you guys are doing. And I really hope that it takes off, and you guys are able to maintain it and continue to move forward with what you're doing with it, because that it's the essence of community, is everyone takes care of each
Yeah.
other.
Mhm.
So, so um, with that, we've talked a lot about the Omaha community. Omaha, obviously, not the only city in the metro considered. You've got those people over in Council Bluffs. They've got the captains or whatever, right? But you do have Council Bluffs. You've got hitting out Springfield now, Gretna. The I-80 corridor is really starting to
Mhm.
build up there, and then you've got Lincoln as half of your team name. What do you see as kind of your footprint as far as the people who you would target as supporters, the people that you would want to come, or just to reach out with your message of soccer for all?
You know, I think it's pretty much our target market's everyone. You know,
Yep.
it's people that may not necessarily have a place. It's also the people that just love the game.
Hmm.
Um, Obviously, with the Lincoln connection, it does build. And I know when other teams were existing and playing in Lincoln, that was a huge market over there. But truly, like a lot of the players we're trying to bring in will either be going into college, playing college,
Hmm.
or maybe too old for college and just enjoy the competition factor.
Hmm.
But it truly gives an opportunity for people in the area to either see what's coming to UNO, Creighton, Bellevue, Midland, etc., or it gives them, like it sees where the area is going. I think it's one of them really great things to have in our area that we've had hundreds, if not thousands, of players play for the Linoma brand,
Hmm.
Mhm.
and we feel like, especially in the Omaha Lincoln area, people resonate with hearing the name Linoma.
Hmm.
Like we was talking about earlier, I think it's rare that you go into an indoor league, especially in the Omaha area, or just a general league, and not hear the Linoma name.
Hmm.
Um, and I think it's just one of the things. It's if you haven't played for Linoma, you've definitely heard of us. Um, and it's just I think we can truly hope that everyone gets involved, whether it's previous Linoma players or it's just someone who's never played the game before. Um, we've had, our staff is built up of a lot of college athletes and a lot of people from locally and from abroad. We've had players from Burke and sorry.
Oh, no, no worries. Everyone's welcome, even Curry supporters.
We've had players from Burke and Westside High School all the way to UNO, Creighton, and Bellevue University. That's
Yeah.
within our staff. So it, I think it was important to us that we get the full range and we try and bring in as many people who are interested as possible. And again, everyone's welcome.
Yeah, and that definitely means Lincoln people. I mean, for sure. I was in Lincoln the other day and ran into somebody that played for Lenoma. And it was really nice to like reminisce with them a little bit and talk to them about it. We actually have a player from Lincoln on our Open Division team right now. So um, that Lincoln connection has never really gone away. I mean, there have been ebbs and flows, right? But um, that connection has never gone away.
So you do keep talking about the open division and being in the open division. You guys have but now you're stepping up to the Midwest Premier League, and you're going to expose all of Omaha, Lincoln, all of the this eastern Nebraska area now to your style, your values, your team through the Midwest Premier League. So I guess why the Midwest Premier League? Why did you guys decide that was the direction to go? And what can we expect out of the league as far as the type of soccer, the type of support for
Mhm.
soccer in the area that you guys expect?
I think a lot of us were begging Jordan to do this for a long time to start with. Um, but Midwest Premier League is been around a couple of years, but I think their biggest positivity is they help so much. They gave us the opportunity. We had a few teams reach out to us and be like, "Hey, this is what we do. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, it's okay." And they truly want to build lower league soccer.
Yeah.
It like if we have an issue, we can talk to them about it. A lot of them, like us, have done it for the sake of soccer, for the sake of helping local players play. And it just kind of gave us an opportunity that it was hard to turn down. It was exciting, and it also gives us potentially a bid to the U.S. Open Cup.
Yeah.
So if we get in the future, if we can kind of copy a similar team like Chicago House, who is a lot of local guys who are no longer playing college, it truly gives us the opportunity to expand our brand even more by entering competitions like that.
Yeah.
With the league itself, the few teams we've seen, a lot of them, it's going to be a very competitive league.
Mm.
Um, we've already looked at some of the squads from previous years, and I think they're all glad that a lot of these a lot of these teams are located by schools,
Mhm.
so
Hmm.
they bring in top level talent. There's some teams that offer housing opportunities as well. Um, so I think it's a really good profile of what college soccer is, especially as we start moving towards a professional model in college sports. It seems like it gives people the opportunity to see the talent in the area, and who knows, maybe potentially a future USL player. I mean, we had Evan Southern who played for us in the Open Division
Right.
on Thursday nights, and he's now just signed with the Heart of Pines,
Mhm.
Portland
Hmm.
Heart of Pines.
Yeah.
And it's a really great opportunity for him. I know he's really excited, and we can't wait to watch him. But truly, that development and going against really tough opposition will only help in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just going to add on to what Harry was saying that the league itself, the Midwest Premier League, is very community based
Mhm.
and club based. And so it matched up perfectly with what we wanted to do. And it's on a sustainable model.
Mhm.
Like they're not looking to make a ton of money off of us as clubs.
Yep.
They truly, like what Harry said, they truly want to develop lower level soccer. And that's what we want to do. That's
And
why we
as
joined.
yeah, and as I understand it, they were originally a part of the UPSL, split off from the UPSL and kind of made their own little regional, and a lot of it seemed to be off of some of those ideological differences of we want to be about the community, we want to be about the clubs, we want to kind of make this Midwest thing kind of feel that way, and with no shade intended to UPSL or anything else, just reading the history of it, that seemed to be the direction they were going, right?
Yeah, and I think also the travel aspect of
Yeah.
the league as well. We looked at a couple of options, and the conferences we would probably ended up being in, the distance we would have to cover was huge. Whether it be UPSL, MPSL, anything like that. We wanted to make sure that one, it's again, if people want to travel, they have the opportunity to do so. I mean, we got two. We're lucky to have two clubs in our area, plus a couple that are 2 hours, and maximum I think we travel is 5 hours. It just really gave us an opportunity to limit the travel because I know, especially being an athlete, that's the one part that kind of is draining and can take it out on you. But it also allows us to have a lot more rivalries and a lot more good matchups that people can see and look into. It's not like you're traveling to Arkansas or Oklahoma all the time to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, and
And
we mentioned. Oh,
oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead. No,
No,
you're
no,
good.
you got it.
Oh, I was to say because you mentioned the two clubs in the local area. We've got CB Captains. We've already mentioned them once. AFC Omaha that has rebranded and come into the area now as AFC Omaha. And then the other two teams. I was thinking Columbia, Missouri. Is that one or
They're
um,
one in our area.
right?
I think it's kind of up to the league where they want to put us right now.
Right.
But they were one of the very first teams to reach out to
Hmm.
us.
Hmm.
And I'm fortunate enough to have played where they're located at Columbia
Right.
College, and the setup is insane. Like it is
Hmm.
a really good setup, and they they wanted to help us. They wanted to give us all the information that we needed, even if it may have gave a few trade secrets away.
Hmm.
Um, but the travel aspect of it wasn't too far outside
Hmm.
of crazy. Nothing's going to need a flight, maybe a hotel, but it should be accessible to a lot of people,
Right.
especially like the players who maybe have family, maybe have a job on the side. Just kind of going around and be like, hey, we're going to Arkansas on a Wednesday night. It can be difficult for
Yep.
players. Um, so again, the league was just really helpful with that and giving us a few teams that it's not too crazy to travel to.
Hmm.
Yep. And then there's a team in Iowa that's in the area here too as well, right? Which there's the possibility of being able to be in a division or a conference with them and see them on occasion.
Yep.
So what besides that relationship though, have any of the rivalry echoes started between you guys and at the very least the Omaha area teams or um,
We get
We
on great with them. Like that,
yeah.
we have a really good communication.
yeah.
Mhm.
I think it'll develop over time. I feel like it's something that you can't instantly. You have to see what each team brings
Mhm.
to the table.
Yeah.
I mean, Jordan has had a lot of communication with them guys previously, and I've spoken to them a few times, and they're good guys, and we're all just wanting the exact same thing.
Yeah. I think that's the important thing is that the captains, AFC Omaha, they all want the same thing that we do. We want to develop and grow local soccer here in Omaha and the metro area. Um, so it's just being able to work with them.
Mhm.
Yeah, the on-field rivalry will definitely happen. I mean,
Mhm.
we played the captains twice, three times actually in the open division, and you can kind of tell there's a little bit of a rivalry building there. So yeah, we're excited to work with them, but also play against them.
Yeah. I think that'll always be there as long as there's a river between us. There's always going to be a Council Bluffs Omaha, a little bit of a
Yeah.
rivalry. But it sounds like the league is going to be manageable. It's going to be travel is going to be manageable, even if it's an
Mhm.
away day for the supporters or anything else. You're not going to locations that don't have other things to offer in order to do it. And with a couple of teams here in town, your away days are going to be a little bit more minimal. They'll almost feel like home matches at some points, I would imagine, until you get the Anfield Goodison kind of feel to your rivalries. But no, it sounds like you guys are set up to be doing really great as far as off the pitch. On the pitch, you guys kind of knocked it out of the park with your head coach announcement, as I saw, right? You got Markeith Preston, who's Bellevue University's men's soccer coach, and he's going to be working with you guys as your main coach during the MWPL league. How did you manage to lure him out and get him to say yes? I want to do this in that time.
Harry, you can go first, and I'll add on.
Yeah, so I think both of us have different aspects of our relationship with Mark.
Mhm.
For me, I was a player. Jordan worked with him a lot with Bug Eaters and with Bellevue University, so we both have both different kind of views of him as a coach, and obviously the record speaks for itself. But kind of when we first led into coaches, that was the one thing we discussed of like it's not just about having a team. It's about creating an opportunity for these players to come in, develop, and
Mhm.
if it's a guy who's about to graduate, who's getting ready for the college game, or if there's a junior college player who just needs extra minutes, give them that opportunity to succeed and be better. When we first met, we discussed it pretty thoroughly, and I don't think many people could argue that Mark is one of the most successful coaches in the Omaha area
Mhm.
and provides them provides teams of really good standard and has that recruiting background. I mean, like I said, I was a player for 5 years. I was very fortunate to be a part of that squad. And in my time playing for him, we really took over from the alumni. We went undefeated for the first time in school history for any sport. We
Mhm.
made nationals 2 or 3 times, and we truly started the conference championship run that's currently at 5 wins in a row.
Mhm.
Um, and knowing that aspect of things, it was one of them things where we knew he could come in and be successful, whether it be just getting them players to the next level or it's on the field. Um, I think there's a lot of people. I mean, he's one of the longest serving coaches in the area right now, and it shows why his record is unbelievable.
Mhm.
Um, and he's built something from the ground up his way. And I think, especially in the soccer community in Omaha, a lot of people have heard of him.
Mhm.
And he's been and done it as a player and a coach as well. So I think it was important for us that we brought someone in who we know can get the job done and really provide something that not many players may get. It could be a player who's at an NAI school or a D3 school that just wants that extra help during the summer, that or a JUCO that doesn't speak to his coach the entire summer. It truly
Mhm.
gives them the opportunity to become better players and have a second pair of eyes on them to be like, hey, your coach said you can look at this and improve on this, but hey, here's what I think and here's what I can show you that can benefit them.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know if you ever had the opportunity to see a Bellevue game, but they are typically exciting, fun, and very fast paced. I think that was one thing we prided ourselves on as players, that no team was going to come anywhere and outwork us. And um, however feisty the games may get, we're always going to be the one who's professional and outwork and outscore. I mean, he was a striker when he was playing, and he scores goals. The records kind of speak for itself. So
Mhm.
I think pretty much every year we had a goal scorer. We had some really good players that I think longed for an opportunity to play some summer in Omaha. I think when I first came in 2017, a team called Lincoln FC, I believe they were called, they kind of disappeared the year I was here. And then in 2018-19 is when Bug Eaters popped up, and unfortunately they suffered the COVID stuff, and we had players go to Houston Dynamo into 23s. We had them go to Med City in Minnesota, Corpus Christi in Texas, where realistically there should be something in Omaha for these guys.
And yeah, there's not a better coach than Mark. I think one of the biggest. I mean, we, again, Harry and I sat at a Scooter's coffee place and said Mark's our top candidate. Like that's who we want. That's who we want leading our guys, our players, our student athletes out there each week. But I wanted to touch on a different aspect.
Mhm.
Yes, Harry has a player coach relationship with him, but for me, it's all about building relationships with Mark.
Mhm.
He's been great to work with at Bug Eaters. He's been great to work with at Bellevue. Um, I always I always tell people he's a player's coach. In my opinion, Harry might think otherwise, but I would have
No,
loved to have played.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have played for Mark when I was younger. I would have loved to have the opportunity to work with him
he
and
cares. He cares a lot about his
yes,
players. He really tries to
yeah,
be there for
hundred
every
percent.
single one. Some of us may be stubborn because we're college kids, but I think that was, when you step away and you look at the bigger picture, you can see that he was trying to help you and get better. We've seen it so many times where players have come in as midfielders and ended up as strikers scoring 20, 30
Hmm.
goals a season, 40 goals a season. Yes, at the start, were they open to it? Maybe not, but he truly trusts and believes that he can make you a better player in every walk of life. He was very much on the standard of get your schoolwork done, hold yourselves accountable. I still remember, it's kind of a funny story. We played against a school called Briarcliff in Sioux City, Iowa. Didn't have the best games, and we had a rough time about it. We got back to school the next day. He calls us in. We're like, right, we're going to do something. We're like, okay, so we ran to this kind of derelict park to be nice.
Mhm.
It's called Hayworth Park. It's where we didn't know this, but Bellevue University's first ever team played on that field.
Mhm.
And he was like, "Hey, you're just going to play a tournament, and you're going to see what you could be doing. You could be playing on, and really just get that competitive edge back and enjoy the time here." Um, I think after that we didn't lose a game, but
Yeah.
it he's very much like, "Hey, I know I care about you guys. Look at what we can accomplish." Um, but he will definitely turn around, and if you're not holding yourself accountable, he'll make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was just gonna say, Harry's exactly right. He cares about his players. He cares about the history of Lenoma, and he has assured us that no other team will outwork us. And I can't say how the height of volumes that speaks of the type of coach that he is, and not just the type of coach, but the type of person that he is.
I think
Yeah.
he pretty much dies for every badge he puts on his chest. I mean, he cares
Yes.
so much about it. If it's an opportunity to be successful, regardless if he has any physical connection to the team or organization, he's
Mhm.
going to put everything he can into it and make sure that it is a success. Whatever that is to his eyes
Hmm.
compared to ours, I don't know. But for me, I'm pretty certain it's winning. But like I said, he dies for pretty much any badge he puts on. And whether that's what you see, there's a lot that you don't see that he does to make sure he gets what he needs out of it.
Yeah.
I think that was really important to us, and I think that was, again, like we said, there wasn't really a better choice than him. He's been there, he's done it, he's I know they're still in the hopes for a national title, which seems it's getting ever closer. But with regards to playing all over the state, the country, and playing against really good teams, he's been and played against them. I mean, we've played the number one team in the country, beaten them and stuff like that. And again, it speaks for itself. He's currently ranked number 7 in the country with Bellevue, and I think he's one close, if not the winningest coach in Bellevue history.
And you mentioned, five consecutive conference championships that were going on there. Whole bunch of stuff that would say, even from an NAIA level coach, because everyone focuses on NCAA and D3 and all that. All that says is, someone's coming in as poaching. Somebody's got to be coming in and looking at him to take over their program or to do something. And he's stayed, and he's obviously got roots here in the Bellevue area. He's got a love for the area. He's got a love for the team and love for the players. Otherwise, that's what you see is, okay, well, hey, this has been great. I'm off to fight for my next badge. And there may not be any ill will or anything else, but you see him move on. And when you have a coach like this, it definitely speaks to, I think, what you're talking about. Of he cares about the community, he cares about the sport, and he cares about the young men and women that come through that he interacts with.
And he's also involved in club soccer as well. It's not just that he's got that college connection. He's whether he needs to or not, I don't know, but he still wants to be involved with that club soccer.
Yeah. So you did mention kind of a high flying. Nobody's going to outwork us. Without revealing too much, what kind of formation do you expect he's gonna throw out for you guys, or how do you think the tactics are going to work out?
I mean, it depends on. Go ahead, Harry.
We've heard of some of the personnel he's trying to bring in, and hopefully attending the tryouts next week. So I'm not going to give away his trade secrets, but from what I've heard, it's very exciting to hear, and I know that he's very excited to bring in some of the players he's able to bring in. So again, not to say too much, but I think it's one of them you have to wait and see.
Yeah,
Fair
enough. I'll mark you down for the dreaded 118, and we'll.
I was literally just going to say that. I think it's going to be a 118.
118. There we go. And the one's actually a winger. So, out of the 3 clubs there, between AFC Omaha, CB Captains, and you guys, why would a supporter want to support Linoma as kind of the first among equals in the area?
Yeah, I think part of it is you get that true feeling that it's much more than soccer to us. You're going to be a part of the family, whether you're playing for us, whether you're watching us. It's important to us that you feel welcome and you have a voice. Like we are trying to build something in the future that can, again, be sustainable and something that is a pastime for people. We hope that families come. We hope that everyone, like we said earlier, everyone is welcome to come watch us, and help us build something that I think can coincide with Union Omaha and really strive to, hey, Parliament, come and watch us. They get to see the next Union Omaha striker or goalkeeper or defender, I think it'll be interesting, and again, it's going to take some time, especially with three teams in the area. I feel like there's a lot of people that are going to try and almost weigh out their options and go watch each of them, and that's completely fine. But we hope that when you come to us, it's a show, it's an entertainment, and you almost want to come back. You see how much passion everyone has for the club and how much people care about it, and even having that option of like, we're not going to be perfect all the time. We are going to try our hardest to do the right things and provide for everything. But even if it's like, hey, pulling one of us to a side and go, hey, I'd love to see this, or this is what we think is missing. We want to be very transparent and very open to suggestions of how we can build something that, again, is unique. I think a lot of the steps we've taken is very unique with the ticketing, with the like you see a lot of other brands. We've got one that's relatively unique to the United States, at least. You don't see many teams wearing Jacko, which we hope to bring more across. But it's something that I feel like people could believe in and have that connection with, regardless of who they are, where they come from, what they do. Um, it's something that they can truly get through the week and be like, I'm so looking forward to go watch this game tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of it too is just we're a community-based football club.
Mhm.
Like that's literally what our number one core value is, community. And we want to be, like I said earlier, we want to give back as much as we possibly can. And I think what makes us unique, I think Harry said this earlier, is if you come to a game like Harry and I, we're going to be available to talk to.
Mhm.
Our front office, our board of directors, they should all be at the games. If you want to talk to one of them, go for it. We're open to what you have to say, and we want to talk to you. So I think that's a huge, different, and very unique thing with us.
No, and that's what draws people in, right? Is that sense of community, and that
Hmm.
I have that relationship with the club. I have that relationship with the players because it's a club. It's not a team that has supporters. It is a true club, and
Right.
again, that seems to be the vibe that I'm getting off of this, and it's one of those I think is underserved in the American soccer landscape of. What does a club mean? Well, it's not just a team with supporters. It's a club. So I can
Hmm.
absolutely appreciate that from you guys. So with that, is there any last words? Any things that you guys want to talk about? I know there's an open tryout coming up, or is there anything else you guys would like to throw out to the community?
I think for me, it's if you have questions, if you want to talk about Lenoma more, feel free to reach out. I mean, we
Hmm.
you guys reached out through the contact us page on our website, and we try to respond as quickly as we can.
Yeah.
But even if you want to be involved, if you want to develop, like work with us, if you want to just kind of get a feel for what we're about, reach out. We are more than happy to have them conversations. And again, we hope you guys get to visit the tryouts next week
Yeah.
and hopefully see some of the talent we're bringing. I know we're very excited as an organisation to bring that to people, and we hope that we have a lot of people turning up, and we're excited to see some of the talent that comes in. But just watch this space, really. It's an exciting time for us, and again, I think we've got a few announcements that are coming up that can be really exciting. I don't know if John has anything to add on that, but I think it's just watch this space.
Yeah, no, I think um, this isn't possible without the people that we have involved.
Mhm.
All the volunteers that we have working on the background, day in and day out, that all have day jobs. Can't thank them enough. Especially Harry,
Yeah.
he does such a good job for us, and I literally this doesn't happen without those people.
Yeah.
So um, we hope that people enjoy what we give them on the pitch, and we'll go from there.
And a massive thank you to you for inviting us on here.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
It
No,
was huge for us.
yeah, and I appreciate you guys letting us kind of kick this off with you guys, and responding back in a timely manner, uh, because hey, that's what we're here to do. Is we're all here to see soccer grow in this in the community,
Hmm.
no matter what color or what crest you wear, as long as you're playing the game, and you're there for the community. I think we're all on that same page there. So absolute cheers to you guys for what you're doing. I'll give them the shout out here. It's Linoma FC .com, right? So that
Yep.
Lin, like Lincoln, Oma, just like on the crest, LinomaFC.com. You guys have a presence on Facebook, on Instagram. Are you guys on Blue Sky
X.
yet?
No, we are on X,
Okay, on X.
Instagram, Facebook, and then our website as well.
Yeah.
Again, I try and monitor to that
Hmm.
as much as I can. So if you don't get a response, I try and do it within 24 hours maximum. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, well, again, it's we're trying to grow, and if you have questions, or if there's any way you would like to be involved, or if there's any way you want to reach out to us,
Hmm.
go right ahead.
Yeah. and all those spaces. Watch all of those spaces because you guys are heading in the right direction, I think, and I think you guys are going to cook up something really special for the Omaha metro area. So,
Yeah,
thank you
thanks,
again,
Tim.
Harry, Jordan, and as always, anything we can do for you, then by all means, just reach out and we will do what we can. For everyone else, thank you guys for making it through this rather long but rather important interview. I get a little long-winded, but I love talking about this stuff with people who actually care. So thank you. We'll be looking for some more out of Omaha Club Flush. You can find us on Substack. You'll find us here on the YouTube channel, and then we will have email and direct message capabilities up shortly. You'll find us on Blue Sky also if you look up Omaha Club Flush. But with that, guys, thank you again. Can't wait to see the open tryout. Can't wait to see the first kick in the ball.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks, Tim. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, take care.
Yep, you too.